it going, BG fam? It's your boy here, Bizarro, bringing you that sweet content you've been asking for. Welcome to Season 2, and welcome to the Game Room Tour of 2021, Part 2. Now guys, I know it took a little longer than I originally anticipated, but I swear this game room is so lit now. I am so excited to share this room with you guys, and as you've seen in the little intro there, a lot has changed. I'm gonna deep dive into every little section of the game room instead of like last time where I just kind of briefly went through it. This one's a little more prepared as well than last time. Before we get started, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more content. I'm putting out weekly videos, guys, and here soon, maybe an extra bonus episode each week. We'll see how it goes. I did tell you guys last week I wanted to do, Bizarro reviews where I do the game reviews, the top 7, a few videos that I'm looking to be able to do. So I can't do that every week, but I'd like to do probably a game review once a month, top 7 once a month, and so on and so forth. But I am incredibly excited to launch Season 2. It's like the fresh start. 1 year ago, I recorded the very first video for this channel. It took 2 months before I finally uploaded it, but it was an okay video. Looking back at it, it was kind of rough, but it was the start of this glorious channel. But without further ado, let's get into this game room tour of 2021. So, as you guys know, I'm a big movie collector along with video games. So, the old shelves that I had, I made custom. The shelves that you see in this room, I just kind of customized them. I built a couple or a few new ones, but I had to kind of edit them. So the last shelving that you've seen, which is actually one of the old shelves, I didn't do much with except paint, and I added an extra 2x4 for support. I don't know if any of you noticed, but they were kind of starting to sag, and this really added the support that the movies needed, because there's a lot of weight here. But this is my clamshell VHS rack. I've customized the length of them to fit perfectly in here. One thing about collecting clamshell VHS is they are bigger than anything else that you have. They're bigger than DVDs, they're bigger than the normal VHSs, and they're bigger than any video game that you have. So you have to almost either buy a bookshelf, or you have to build your own, and that's what I wanted to do, because I didn't want to buy a lot of shelving. I mean, $100 a pop for a good shelf, and I mean that's just one of these per shelf, even with the current prices, and lumber has went up a lot. I'll get into that probably later on in this video, but I mean, I think a shelf is probably still around $40 including paint. So you got to think $40 versus $100 per shelf, and I can customize them the way I want it. But I definitely enjoy the black. As you can tell also by the background, the walls are now gray, and then the ceiling is black. That was something that when we were kind of designing the room, and when I say we, me and my girlfriend, she is the painter for this whole room, because I am terrible at painting. She did a lot of work while I was at work and even into the night, and I appreciate her if she's watching this, but I just got to give her a shout out because she did an incredible job, and I'm so happy. But yeah, so we went with gray because the channel is purple and gray, and then black as kind of an accent because I wanted the shelving to be black. And then we actually have some purple in the room, so you'll probably see that here and there. The baseboards are purple, and then the lights, or the light outlets, power outlets, sorry, are purple as well. Definitely very happy with how this shelf turned out. But yeah, so when I started collecting games, probably a month into it, I found out that I was gonna have a baby. And so I really wanted something that I didn't have as a child. And that was the VHSs the Disney movies that I never had. I had some of them, but there was so many that I missed out on as a kid. My friends had them, but I didn't. So I went out and where I was, kind of hunting for games at this point in time, I seen VHSs so commonly and, for 50 cents a pop, and I'm like, what? So I started picking them up, and it grew and grew and grew to what I have now. And I have all these shelves full. I only have a little room on the bottom. So yeah, that was kind of where it started. And it's really cool because my nephews come over and they enjoy it. And hopefully my daughter enjoys it when she gets big enough. She has watched The Lion King and really enjoys that. She's only 7 months old almost, and she's just kind of sing-alongs and stuff like that. But I hope she enjoys this one day. It is kind of my gift to her and kind of to relive those moments. But let's go on to the next section of the room. So this shelf is actually Blu-ray and the start of the DVDs. I didn't have enough Blu-rays to kind of make an entire shelf as of right now. I'm growing my Blu-ray collection, but it's not the primary format that I go for, just because for one, it's expensive, and for two, I enjoy the DVDs and VHSs more, just because DVDs, for one, the menu is just kind of cool. Like each menu had a new feature, like something different. It made it its own movie. You kind of looked forward to the menu screen. And then, VHSs, just the nostalgic feel of them, and they're so cheap as well. Blu-rays, you lost that feel. Though I do enjoy some of the things about Blu-ray. I enjoy, let's see, where's it at? Steelbooks. So, sorry about that. I enjoy steelbooks, especially of older movies like this. That is kind of where I'm at with Blu-rays if I pick them up. If I find them cheap, I'll still pick them up. And then seasons, I kind of do that as well. But yeah, that's kind of what's here. There's more DVDs in another part of the room, and we'll get to that here after a bit. But yeah, that's this section. Let's go on to the next. So this section right here, which you'll see in the backdrop of the Bizarro Reviews videos, but this is the VHS, the normal VHSs. As you can see, I have quite a few. So it took more than just one case. I actually ran out of room in the old shelves, so I knew I was gonna have to build another shelf for this, and this is where the extra shelf came in. But like I was explaining with the other shelves, I had to make a change based on the current measurements. So I didn't want to do a 2x4 throughout the entire thing.
Stop looking at me, Swan!
And make all the old shelves supported by that. So I went shorter with 3 foot instead of the 4 foot originally. When I watched the guy make them on YouTube, that's what he suggested. And I thought, 4 foot's not gonna be that bad. It was. But 3 foot seems to be perfect. There is no sagging at all. It is perfect, and it actually worked well with the fact that this wall, I had, 6 foot of space to make these shelves. So I went with 2 3-footers right here. And that other one, the Blu-ray and DVD, that is actually a 3-foot one as well. But, so yeah, all my my VHSs, I will say if you're collecting VHSs, to always double check. So this is when I found this out very quickly when I started buying these. They get weather damage really bad. So you always want to open it up. For one, you want to make sure you're getting the right VHS, and then just double check to make sure there's no white on the film. If there's any type of moisture that gets in there, it'll mildew and the tape is useless at that point. So if you're wanting to collect these, be sure you double check every cassette tape that you pick up. My first go around, I think I picked up probably 10 to 15 tapes that were damaged. I didn't even bother to check. I trusted it, and yeah, I learned the lesson very quickly. But yeah, so that's the VHSs. Let's go on to the next part. So real quick, I just want to kind of showcase this a little bit. It's still a work in progress, but this is my action figure piece. This is where all my figures are gonna go. This was where I had the pops. I have some of the pops throughout the room, but I have some of them still in the closet. So hopefully once I get the shelving up throughout the rest of the room, I can start putting those back out. But yeah, I've got all my new figures on this shelf. I kind of want to create scenes with them eventually, and then I've got little random collectible stuff right now throughout. But yeah, on to the next. So yeah, real quick, this hallway is kind of narrow, but I just want to show you where the other DVDs are. I've got my two collectible, my chessboard and then the Jumanji, but this is where the rest of the DVDs are. It is another one of the shelves that I just put a 2x4 in to support, but it's just in the hallway as you come into the game room. But yeah, really cool. I had planned on putting this here eventually, but I had some extra space and I went ahead and just put it up now. So yeah, really cool. So I've got plenty of room for my DVDs now. But yeah, on to the next section, which is the game section. So this is the part that I'm going to kind of slow down on. I've kind of sped through the rest of the room because that's not what you're here to look at. You're here to look at the games. So this is the game wall. Originally there was one 4-foot case, and now there are two 2.5 feet cases. The reason they're 2.5 feet is just because it's the measurements I had, and I wanted to split it in half. And I actually added shelves to be able to put some collectibles on and to store cartridge-based games. The other shelving is not made for this, so I had to kind of get creative and I wanted shelves. But so how I've got them laid out, I've always wanted to kind of have my shelves kind of look really cool. So I've got the old games over here. So this shelf right here is the kind of Nintendo, Xbox, and then I have my Sega Genesis games. So I'll just start from the very top of what I've got. So Sega Genesis. So I have 7 Sega Genesis games. I have 19 N64 games. I have 9 Super Nintendo games. I have 23 regular Nintendo games. I have 4 Atari games. I have 4 3DS games. I have 8 GameCube games. I have 12 Nintendo Switch games. I have 1 Wii U game. I have 37 Wii games, which is incredible because I had, I think, maybe 6 or 7, and then I bought a lot and I've grew my Wii collection like crazy. I have 35 Xbox 360 games, 5 Xbox games, and I have 17 Xbox One games. That's all on this shelf, guys. I mean, I have quite a few games just on this one shelf, but I have even more on this shelf. So on this shelf I have PlayStation, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and then Sega Dreamcast. So out of those, I have 5 Sega Dreamcast games. I have 22 PlayStation 1 games. I have 65 PS2 games. I have 70 PS3 games, which is the most games I have for any console. And then 35 PS4 games. So, I mean, That's a lot of games. So game cases, really happy with how they turned out. Like I said, they were a pain, but now I have room to continue growing on my games when I was very limited on the room that I had before. But finally, let's go look at the consoles. So yeah, trying to shoot this in one shot, kind of a little difficult, but anyway. So to start out, I have the CRT TV that I picked up from the Shepherd's Home for $5, if you guys remember that. Still working great. I have all my older systems attached to this. So I've got the PlayStation, I've got the N64, the Super Nintendo, and then the regular Nintendo, all hooked up to this TV. I use this TV, I have a switcher box. This TV is really nice to play those older systems on, and them look really well as well. The sound is great. I actually just noticed another crack in the plastic just now, but for $5, this TV has done amazing. The VHS player works great, and it's really nice just to, I actually sit in the floor and play them like the old days with the controllers in hand. But yeah, this TV is really cool. Painted the stand. This is the same stand that I had. It's painted black. Everything is black now. I love it. But yeah, so that's the start of the section. Originally though, I was going to build a whole entertainment center thing, and with the price of wood right now, guys, it has skyrocketed. So if anyone has plans of building a house, renovating a house, building any kind of things with wood, I would hold off, because the lumber market has skyrocketed 3 times as much as stuff costed this time last year, and it's ridiculous. So I would hold off. If it wasn't for the fact that I was already in the process of building all this, I would have held off as well. So that's why I did on this. I just painted everything that I had black and went with it. So, but yeah, it was going to be really cool. Eventually we'll get to it, maybe. I don't know, but we'll see. But let's move on. So this shelf that has been in the game room since the beginning, I have, and sorry for the controllers, I actually had some friends over. I just kind of kept the controllers out. But I have my Switch Animal Crossing version. I love this version of the Switch. And then I've got the Split Pro controllers. Really amazing. The only downfall is they're not battery operated, so you can't use them without the Switch. Kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. And then you'll see, this is the new piece. The Xbox One. I just recently picked that up maybe a month ago. I picked that up with a Wii, the Xbox One games, and the Wii games. I sold the Wii, and I sold some of the Wii games along with some of the Xbox One games that I didn't want. And I kept a good chunk of them, but I made money, made enough money to keep what I kept. Really cool. I did have to get a controller for it. I've not used it much because the game room's been destroyed. So hopefully here in the future I'll be playing some Xbox One here. Then I've got a sound bar. This is something I picked up from a Goodwill for $5. I think it was $5.99 to be exact, so $6. It didn't have any cords. I had a optical cord, and I had the power cord already. The benefit of having cords, guys, if you come across cords, keep them. You never know when you may need them. But this is connected to both TVs. Optical cord to this, and then Bluetooth to this TV. And it's really cool. I really enjoy having the sound bar. I want to get a better sound bar eventually that has the amp, the smaller, or the big subwoofer. There we go. Could not think of what I was trying to talk about. And add to it. But it's really cool to have. I've got the VHS player hooked up to this TV. The Death Stranding PS4. All the new gen consoles are hooked up to this TV, along with the Xbox 360, which is also hooked up to this TV. And then I've got the Wii U, which is another new console. Sad story though. So the Wii U works perfectly. I bought the Wii U for $70 at a flea market a few Saturdays back. Brought it home. I tested the system. Didn't have the charger for the gamepad. So I was like, okay, I ordered it. As you see on the Wii U, it has the stand, not the pad. The screen in the pad was destroyed. Like there was no playing or anything. It would come on, but it was dead. So I now have to buy the pad, which sucks because they cost so much. But I will eventually pick one up. I'm gonna keep it and probably sell the other one just for parts. They sell pretty good for parts only. But yeah, bummer, but it happens, guys. That's why buying as is really sucks sometimes, but that's the gamble. Always get stuff cheap. And then I have the backwards compatible PS3 that I've had since the beginning of time. No, since I've had the start of this whole thing. But yeah, I've got the Sony TV, and then I think it's a Bravia or something like that, and then the Samsung TV from before. So finally, we get to this section. This is the big CRT Sony Trinitron TV that I picked up. It is heavier than a mother, but it is a great TV. I actually have my Blue Wii hooked up in my living room because we play some games over there now. And especially since I have the Wii U over here, I didn't think it'd be useful to have both in here. So then I've got the Genesis, I have the GameCube, and I have the PS2 along with the Dreamcast all hooked up to this TV right here. I use this drawer for my controllers and extra cords, and then, my handhelds and extra cords, and then my bottom drawer are for controllers. It's a very deep drawer, so it really fits perfectly. But yeah, this is the game room, guys. The game room of 2021 part 2. I'm so happy with it. It is so much nicer than it was before. And I mean, I enjoyed it before, but it's so much more peaceful in here. It is just more me as well. But guys, I mean, this is the dream. Let's go on to the wrap up. So guys, that is the game room, and I hope you guys have enjoyed spending a little time in it with me. And if you're new to the channel, like I said at the very beginning, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell to be notified for all that sweet content coming in the future. I do game reviews, I do top 7s, I do thrift store finds. The Game Room Challenge launches next week, guys. I'm so incredibly excited for that series to start. This has been the Bizarro of Bizarro Gaming. Until next time.